Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Charlotte, North Carolina for the next game here at the Immaculate Training Pro Exposure Camp, International Pro Exposure Camp. I am Marcus Shockley with Netcast Sports, and we're about to watch Team Germany on your roster sheets taking on Team Spain. Spain will be in the road blues, and Germany will be in the home whites, although technically it is a neutral court. For the remainder of the game, we'll probably just refer to them as white and blue. And we will be jumping off in just a moment. So 18-minute halves, mostly a running clock. Some stoppages in play, which we'll get into as the game progresses. So we should be all square, and I'll get everybody caught up on rosters and all that great stuff coming up. Now, one player jumping off here in the blue with the orange shorts is Josh Smith, formerly, Charlotte high school area standout, and recently played for the Clemson Tigers of the ACC, has had a fantastic camp. So we're interested to see if he can put up the numbers he did earlier. He had a great first game. And there's the tip. We're underway. So like I said, we've got a running clock, 18-minute halves. The scoreboard that you see on this screen is not the official scoreboard, but it is pretty close. So we do our best to just keep it in sync. And everything should work out pretty well. Smith with the ball, driving, working against Jacob Lawson, the 6'7" forward. So that battle between Smith and Lawson inside should be interesting. Rebound and up and good. And just like that, Blue strikes first, takes the first 2 points of the game. Tommy Moss now driving up and good, and they're going to give him the and one. So let's talk about that. He's not going to shoot the free throw; they're just going to give it to him. That makes it 3-2. The other wrinkle to this is in a foul. If he was not able to hit that, they would probably send him to the line shooting a one free throw to count for 2 points. And of course, if he was fouled from outside the three-point line, which is that dotted line you see on the floor, as Josh Smith drives and gets in trouble, kicks it back out. That dotted line is the official three-point line. So if somebody was fouled in the act of shooting out there, they would shoot 1 for 3. And here's the first deep outside shot, no good. Tracked down by Josh Smith. And Cortez Stevenson in the purple shorts, number 51, driving. Wanted to go left, goes back to his right, finds Smith. And Smith whips the ball back out to Trevin Parks, number 37. Parks just inside the high school three-point line and drains that one in. So Blue retakes the lead. We got Marcus McDaniel now, number 104. Great outside shooter, Marcus McDaniel. Shot the cover off the ball earlier today in a couple of early games, and we'll see what he can do here. Lawson now gets the ball over to Cornell Holmes. Holmes stops, shoots just inside the three-point line, no good. Lawson tapped it out. Tracked down by Tommy Moss. Moss being guarded by Stevenson. Working inside and draws a foul. So we've got that situation we talked about earlier where we will be going to the line shooting 1 for 2. It's Marcus McDaniel. Get a chance to score. Clock doesn't stop here, though. That's the important factor. Now, under 2 minutes, they've been stopping the clock in several cases, and of course for timeouts, and earlier for fouls they did that as well. But so he gets those 2 points. Now McDaniel with the rebound. So all these guys, a lot of these guys have played overseas already. Some of these guys have recently finished up their college careers and will be playing overseas shortly. A lot of international scouts in the building today. That shot misses everything. We've got something going on here. Turnover. back over to Blue. Still 5-4 in favor of the Road Blues, also known as Team Spain. Cornell Holland fakes, drives. Another fake on the inside. He draws the foul, and that's when it's in. Number 98, Cornell Holland to the line. I'm sorry, Cornell Holmes. Moss with the ball. Got matched up inside against the big man, Josh Smith. Decided to pull it out, see what he could set up outside. Over to Marcus McDaniel. He goes inside. And good. So now White with the 3-point lead early. 12:54 left to play, and a foul, and that's going to be a 3-point play automatically. So the and one, and that ties it up. Now at the half, we've got about a 2-minute break, and then we'll come right back. Deep outside shot. That doesn't touch anything, and that just heads on out of bounds. So discussion over whether that was a shooting foul or not. So it looks like they're going to just do a side out over here in front of the bench. We've got a timeout on the floor. So anyway, as I said at the top of the broadcast, you're watching the 2016 International Pro Showcase from Immaculate Training here on Netcast Sports. I am Marcus Shockley. You can follow us on Twitter at Netcast Sports, and you should check out not only this game on demand on netcastsports.com. You could also watch several other games, several other sports. Minor league, we just finished up the East Coast Basketball League, and we've got some more semi-pro coming up and some more Triad Pro-Am coming out in the summer next month, and we've got the IWFL football coming up, and just tons of stuff. So go check out netcastsports.com, and you will appreciate it. Lots of sports for your summer where there's no NBA and no NFL, and you can keep up with some great action over at netcastsports.com. And we are about to get things back underway here on the floor. Smith tried to get the ball over to Cortez Stevenson, and that was knocked out, I think, by Tommy Moss. Stevenson inbounding to Trevin Parks. Parks drives to his right, probing the defense. Finally, the defense adjusts and stops him. Blue keeps the ball, now back out to Cortez Stevenson. Stevenson inside drive, shot, no good, out of bounds, and that looks like it's going to stay with Blue. Clock continues to run as always. Stevenson to inbound under his own basket. Outside to Parks. Parks has a momentary look at the basket, and he's going to draw the foul. Here's we've got that situation where he's going to be shooting 1 for 3 most likely. And you can hear it, 1 for 3. I actually like this rule a lot in this type of exposure camp and in high school showcase events and things like that, the 1 for 3. It does give guys It's a little bit of a wrinkle. It's kind of tough defensively to foul a guy outside and he gets automatically 3 points just for hitting one. But it does keep it mitigates the impact of that running clock for the players. They get a lot more run on the floor, and it also still shows some key elements of their game. And I'm not specifically just talking about free throw shooting. We've also got to consider boxing out, rebounding, things like that on the basket from the free throw shooting positions. So it is important to see those guys in those settings, but not so much that you want that to dominate play, especially with a running clock. So tough inside defense ultimately ends up in the hands of Josh Smith. And he gets it out to Bryson Fonville. Fonville is a really sharp scoring guard, can really put the ball in the hoop. Right now he's looking to work inside to his teammate, Josh Smith. Smith turns, the double team is there, but he finds the open man and score. Nice pass by Josh Smith. And with that, 1 for 3 just a moment ago, and the assist by Smith there. Now they've built a 5-point lead on Blue, a.k.a. Team Spain. And there's going to be a charging foul. So things kind of derailing the last couple of plays for White. Smith looked like he wanted to pass it, but decides to keep it, and he scores on the outside. So Smith looking very good in this one as well. His team now up by 7. Lost his shot off the side of the rim. We're going the way. Here's Trevin Parks. And that's going to stay with Blue. Fonville drives, running shot, glances off the side of the rim, no good. He can hit that shot, but not that time. Shuffle pass back to Lawson, and they're going to call a charge. Tough call on Lawson. Smith turns, finds Fonville, who's cutting through the lane. Fonville gets stopped, but he decides to go step through, unable to score. Rebound, going the other way now. White looking to set up their offense. They're on a little bit of a drought now. They'd like to break that. Deep outside shot, no good. Tapped around. Rebounded ultimately by Trevin Parks, the guard. Look ahead pass, finds Josh Smith in transition. Good find and score. Parks to Josh Smith, the big man, 6'8" out of Clemson. Technically, as far as his hometown is Charlotte, but most recently played for Clemson, as I said at the top of the broadcast. So that's where most people would know him from. Parks behind the back dribble, looking to try to get inside the defense, beats his man off the dribble, kicks it back out to Fonville. Fonville, he's driving, goes over the top, tried to thread the needle over the top to Smith and unsuccessful. Here's Cornell Holmes in the run out and good. And finally, White is able to break that scoring drought after several minutes of not being able to find the bottom of the net. So Trevin Parks now for Blue, walking it up. Inside to Smith, he immediately draws the double team, finds Fonville. Good pass out of the double team there by Smith, but they're going to call Fonville for the double dribble. So under 6 minutes to play here in the first half. Been a relatively quick half. 16-9, still in favor of blue. They've led the majority of this first half. Drive, rattled in, and that's good. Low scoring game in this one so far. And we've seen in some of the other games it can start out like that, and then teams can really get heated up either at the end of the first or in the second half, and really get things going. Smith comes up, sets a pick. Parks pulls up, shoots, good. McDaniel, he wants to drive, step through, and I think he's going to draw the foul, or they're going to call a push-off. So they say a charge, offensive foul on Marcus McDaniel on that one, the 6'3" guard. Drive, no good. So now both teams having a little bit of trouble offensively here, although blue still holds on to that 7-point lead. Deep shot from the corner, good. And that's going to be a 3, I believe. And that pushes the lead out to 10. So now, you know, this is nowhere near from over, of course. We're still a long way to go, and it's only a 10-point lead. But White has to start thinking. They've only got 11 points here in the first half so far. They'd like to get some rhythm going offensively here before the half. And they've got just under 4 minutes to do exactly that. Finish inside, and blue continues to build on their lead. Moss. Tommy Moss working against Cortez Stevenson. And that 3 ball will definitely help their offensive woes. And we've got a timeout on the floor with 3:13. It looks like we're adjusting the clock slightly. 3:13 left to go here in the first half. You're watching the 2016 Immaculate Training International Pro Exposure Camp here from Charlotte, North Carolina. Technically, Hickory Ridge High School, just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. I think probably, maybe 10 minutes from downtown, 15 max, I think. I don't know, not that far, but it's a great campus here. This high school's nice. It seems as almost though it's out in the country, but if you know the area, you're very close to Charlotte, very close to University of North Carolina, Charlotte. Extremely close, and it's a great little area right in here, and it's a great school that they hold us at. It's a good facility, and it's a beautiful day outside here in North Carolina here. So you can watch this game on demand on netcastsports.com, and you can follow Netcast Sports on Twitter at Netcast Sports, as you would expect. One of the good things about the Twitter account that you guys should know is that a lot of times when there's new games posted or whatever, you know, new announcements, things like, hey, the game, you know, as recently as this season with the ECBL, like if you have a delay in the game or something else, you're able to keep up with what's going on by following the Twitter account. You can say, you know, it's not like some of the big networks where you may not have any idea why the game is being delayed. You can find out right away, or find out, hey, they've got this special game coming up that nobody knew about. You can check that out. So follow us on Twitter, and you will be an insider. Back underway here now, right around the 3-minute mark. Josh Smith now feeds it inside. Too strong over the basket. Ball tapped around, and it's going to be over the baseline there. White definitely needed that. As Marcus McDaniel dropped that one in. They've cut that lead down to 7. So single digits here. They'd like to get a defensive stop and get another bucket or two. Oh, that's a nice pass by Fonville to the cutting Josh Smith. Beautiful execution on the offensive end. And that results in a bucket. 25-16 now in favor of White. Too strong off the side of the rim. Tracked down by Cornell Holmes. Offense coming a little bit easier for White. Also known as Team Germany. This is an international rivalry. Germany versus Spain. At least representationally today. For this international showcase, it's only fitting that the teams are being named by the countries where some of these players will be going off to play in. Foul on the floor, that's way outside. I don't believe that's a shooting foul, and the referees say, nope, side out. So the clock is still running. I know that previously, under 2 minutes, they had stopped the clock, but that is not the case right now, even with the wicking up the moisture that went on there just for a moment. So under a minute to play. Drive and almost finished, but no good. Rebound. Trevor Parks looking around. So you got to hand it to White. They've cut that lead down. 20 seconds left. They've cut it to 5. Trailed by 10, have cut that lead in half, and now they've got to be really happy with the way they finished up this first half. Coming up to the break, we'll have about a 2-minute intermission there, and we'll be back with the second half after that. So we've got a break in the action. We'll be back for the second half in just a moment.
Not angled. Way to walk on the shot. What? Way to walk on the.
All right, so we're getting ready to get back underway here in just a moment. Everybody is, we've got some camera work going on here, so everything will be working out just momentarily. We'll be tipping as Josh Smith is talking to the referees, no doubt trying to get a little bit of extracurricular help there. So neither team scoring yet. I know White finished up strong, but still trailed by 7 with that late bucket by Blue. You're watching 2016 Immaculate Training Pro Exposure Camp. And a run out and dunk by Jacob Lawson. That cuts that lead back down to 5 for the team in white, also known as Germany on your roster sheets, taking on Spain wearing the road blues. Smith whips it outside to Stevenson. Stevenson's shot no good. And now we're going the other way as Marcus McDaniel brings it up. Turnover. Fumble, stops, pops, no good. Partially blocked, I believe. So White trailed by 10, have cut the lead all the way back down to 3. These free throws from Trevin Parks could help Blue push that lead back out just a bit. A free throw, I should have said singularly because that would have counted for 2 points, but empty trip unfortunately for him. Big time shot from the outside, and White has come all the way back after trailing by 10 in the first half. They've now tied it up 27 all with about 15 and a half left to play in this game. Tough defense on the inside. Rebound and put it back up and good by Torian Showers, number 64. And that allows Blue to retake the lead, at least for the moment. Josh Smith with a rare deep shot. That one doesn't connect. Have not seen him shoot much from outside there today. Christian Little now with the ball, number 87, being guarded by Fondle. Little drives around, scoop shot inside and finish. Little isolation move by Christian Little. So now with that 10-point lead gone, Blue is, trying to execute it, just make sure they can pull things out, and that's going to help a lot. Trevin Parks just comes down and bangs home a three-pointer, a walk-up three-pointer. There's Lawson. I think his foot was on the line. Would have only been a two-pointer, but no good anyway. So going the other way now. Fumble drives. Nobody stays with him. He had a wide open look. He's hit that shot earlier today. Kind of pulled up on that one. Thought that was going to go, but didn't. Now here's Christian Little again. He's been running the point the past couple of trips down, or at least a couple of times. Feeds it inside. Post play, backs in, turns around, blocked. I believe that might have been Torian Showers who got that block. Looks like we've got a timeout on the floor. Both teams are going to talk things over. So you're watching the International Pro Showcase put on by Immaculate Training here in 2016, coming to you from Charlotte, North Carolina. I am Marcus Shockley of Netcast Sports. You can follow me on Twitter at M_Shockley. And of course, as I said before, you can follow Twitter at Netcast Sports. Follow Netcast Sports on Twitter at Netcast Sports. All one word on Twitter. You guys are smart. You can figure it out, even though I botched it the way I described it. I'm sure everybody listening is a Technical Whiz, and has no problems with Twitter, so jump out there and give us a follow. Blue has at least talked things over, and they're heading back out on the floor, and White's still discussing things, and they're about to head out now. So White can't be happy with what they came out of that timeout with. At least the execution. Maybe they had the idea and they just weren't able to execute on it. But normally when you come out of a timeout, you want something good to happen right away. So once again, Trevin Parks, the 5'11 guard, running the point. Momentary pseudo pick by Josh Smith as they were looking to run a little pick and roll, but they didn't need it. They score again. And once again, they've pushed out that lead to a 5-point margin. Dunk on the inside by Smith. And White had erased that 10-point lead, but as of now, it's back up to 7. So a lot of work done by White to get back into this one now, having gone to waste. We'll see what they can come up with, though. A couple of buckets would make this better, and there's one right there. Low-scoring game so far, and now we're well into the second half, so doesn't look like we're going to see that offensive eruption, at least not yet. Both teams really trying to be methodical and play some lockdown defense. Keep the other team from scoring. Parks uses the pick, pulls back, defense adjusts. As Cornell Holmes stayed with him on that pick. Defense paid off. Now they're only down by 5, so if White could score here, right back into the game. Only down by 2 possessions. Even in a pro showcase, the coaches work the referees. You can see down there, I've seen this all day from the coaches. They're still lobbying, even in a pro individual showcase. Nice entry pass, feed, but knocked away, and come out of there is Fonville. Drive, kicked outside to Stevenson. Stevenson has to pull it out. Still puts it up, no good. Rebounded by Marcus McDaniel. Now we are heading almost at the 10-minute mark. 10 minutes left to go in this one. White had cut it to 3, but just like that, Blue goes back up by 5. Marcus McDaniel wants to work off the pick. Trevin Parks does not want to give it up. Drive, too strong, rebounded by Fonville. Stolen. And a quick basket by Cornell Holmes, I believe. So still only 3 points separating the two teams. Every time Blue goes on a run, they put together a run there on Spain, and they White has been able to come back on them. Germany, wearing the whites, has been able to cut right back into that lead every single time, even after they were down by double digits. Here's Fonville with another steal. He's done a good job inside there, getting several steals. Empty trip there offensively. Here's Lawson, finds Holmes. Holmes inside. Tough basket on the inside right there. Cuts that lead to 1 point. Here's Fonville, and defense sags off of him, but he just hasn't found his shooting touch in this one yet. He looked good in the earlier games we've seen from him. Could be some tired legs, but you never know. He's shown an ability to score that basketball. His team still leads by 1. Trevin Parks calling out instructions. Smith with the pick. Parks uses the pick, drives, shoots up over Lawson, and score by Trevin Parks. Holmes wants to go inside to Smith. Decides to go with a little jab step. Gets the outside. It's going to be inbounds over here in front of the bench. Christian Little enters the game. And I think Tommy Moss is going to get a little breather. And Moss is staying in. So that's the thing. Moss came over to stand up, and they had 2 guys out of bounds. That was the confusion. Is it looked like Moss was going to the bench, and then they did a little trickery there. Trickery does not pay off, unfortunately, for them that time. No basket. Maybe they'll get another chance to pull something here in just a moment. We'll see what they come up with. That shot just touches only net from Marcus McDaniel as he continues to show that shooting touch, and he ties the game up once again. Every time Blue gets on a run, White will come back on them. This Parks working against McDaniels. McDaniels actually gets tied up and has to make the switch. Rebound. Now here's White with a chance to take the lead. Will they take advantage? And finally, they crack into that, and that is going to call a timeout for Blue as they want to talk things over after having led for most of the game and pulling away and then giving up the lead and pulling away, and then White coming back on them again. Now White has come back yet again and taken a 2-point lead. So we're going to step away, and we'll be back in just a moment. So White is still talking things over, and they'll get them back on the floor here in just a moment. Under 6 to play here in this one. So overall, you'd have to say this has been a tight game, despite the fact that Blue has built up a 10-point and an 8-point lead and then a 7-point lead, and then every time White has come back on them, you know, the result is now White leads by 2, and they never let the game get really out of hand. Now they've got a chance to build on that lead. Tommy Moss fakes and the defense falls off of him, but he passes back outside him. Bang! Big 3-ball on the outside, and now White with a 5-point lead, the biggest lead they've had of the game. There's Fomble. He'd like to get started outside to Showers. Showers shot no good. Josh Smith with a save to Parks. Parks driving, gets behind the defense, draws the foul, and he's going to be going to the line. Now, this doesn't entirely benefit him. He would have liked to have hit that and got the and one. He does shoot 1 for 2 here, but and the clock is less of a factor because it's only a 5-point lead. But the clock continues to run, so it's not entirely the advantage you might have in a regular game. So, but he makes it count, and he gets those 2 points. Holmes outside, no good. Rebounded by Josh Smith. Nope, actually slapped away. And Cortez Stevenson comes up with it. Fomble, stops, shoots. Still can't find that shooting touch in this one. So we are very close to just 3 minutes left in this game. White still holding a 3-point lead and the ball. They would really like to get another bucket here. And Blue, they want to stop. Holmes deep outside. That one doesn't go. Battled around, tracked down, stays with White. Holmes looked like he was going to shoot it from almost the same spot. This time he drives, spins, goes back over his right shoulder, and that looked really good coming off of his wrist, and that one scores, and that pushes White's lead back out to 5 off of Cornell Holmes' bucket, the 6'4" guard and forward, guard, I guess wing player officially. Parks over the top, no good. White's biggest lead has been 5. If they score here, they'd love to get up by 7. Moss being hounded by Cortez Stevenson on the outside there. Fake, drive, up, and no good. Pulled down by Josh Smith. Fonville behind his back to Smith. Smith again from deep, that time no good. We're under 2 now. I think that was a 2, but we'll see here. Sometimes they adjust. And they are going to give him the 3. And we've got a timeout on the floor. And White has now taken a pretty commanding lead, 8 points. That's the biggest lead of the game with only a minute 37 left. So Blue is going to see what they can come up with here at the last minute. And they've still got time. Go inside to Josh Smith. Tevin Parks has looked solid. Fonville hasn't been able to find a shot, but he's always a threat to score. So they've got options, and they've just got to lock down on the defensive end as well. Here we go, 1:37 left to go. If sometimes these things can drag out, sometimes we can get done in a hurry. So we'll see how this all pans out. If I don't get a chance, we'll just go ahead and tell you thanks for joining us here on Netcast Sports for this game. We have another one coming today. We really appreciate you guys tuning in to these Pro Exposure Camp games. Back in action, drive inside Parks, no good. White once again with the ball. Now, if they score here, that could spell trouble. Yeah, that was a nice in-air adjustment. And now White has matched their biggest deficit with their biggest lead, up by 10. No good. Another rebound. Really getting close to that minute mark now. Blue in desperation mode. So, okay, so here's the situation. The clock is supposed to have stopped under 2 minutes, and we've had a problem today where a couple of times that didn't happen. So the referee just told the scorekeeper, you know, you need to stop that clock. So we're adjusting on the fly to try to keep up with what they're doing. And see, that happened again. So I'm not sure exactly. My understanding is it's a running clock until the last 2 minutes. And that is what the referee just told the score table. Now the coach is saying something different, but it looks like we're going to stick with that rule, and I believe that's correct. I believe I believe it's supposed to be normal stoppages in play under 2 minutes. So that was a moot point. They were asking how many seconds they had to get the ball across the half-court line, and so they just inbounded it straight across the half-court line, and that's going to force a foul. It's about 22 seconds left here on the clock, and you know, it's kind of tough to be able to foul and get yourself on the line and play any kind of gamesmanship with this little amount of time. White stays out of trouble. Ball goes out, 19.2 left. So Blue, that's a terrible dribble inbound right there. Fonville deep outside. So we got about 9.2 left. And they say no foul. So that's going to do it. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for joining us. You've been watching Netcast Sports. That's going to do it.